Hey there! If you enjoy unraveling mysteries from history and want to dive deeper into stories like this one, make sure to follow our channel to catch this and all future videos. And don't forget to support us by subscribing, liking and leaving a comment below. It really helps us out a lot. The terrifying mystery of Qin Shi Huang's tomb and the cursed Terracotta Army. In the heart of Shanxi, China, lies a mystery that has baffled humanity for more than 2,000 years, the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor who unified China. Guarding his resting place is an immortal army of over 8,000 terracotta soldiers, war horses and chariots, all modelled after real people. They stand in silent watch over the darkness, each facing a different fate, forming a powerful and mysterious defence unlike anything else in human history. But what fascinates the world isn't just the sheer scale of this army, it's the sealed doorway that leads to the very heart of the tomb. That door has never been opened, and legend says it hides deadly traps, rivers of mercury, and secrets that could rewrite history. So the big question, one that has haunted scientists and governments for over half a century, is why? Why? With all the advanced technology of the 21st century, has the Chinese government chosen to keep the tomb of its most feared emperor sealed shut? The answer isn't just respect, it's fear. Real fear. Fear of what might be waiting inside. To understand why this tomb is forbidden, we first need to understand the man behind it, Qin Shi Huang. He was the ruler who ended the bloody Warring States period and united China for the first time in 221 BC, declaring himself its first emperor with the dream that his dynasty would last forever. Qin Shi Huang was both a visionary and a ruthless tyrant. He built the Great Wall of China, unified the written currency, and reshaped the empire. But as his power grew, so did his obsession with death. He longed for immortality, sending envoys across the land to search for the elixir of life. He even dispatched a fleet into the eastern seas to find mythical immortals. When he realized that he could not live forever in this world, he decided to build an eternal empire for the afterlife. Construction of his mausoleum began when he was just 13 years old. This wasn't just a tomb, it was an entire underground kingdom. According to the historian Xi'an, the project lasted 38 years and required more than 700,000 labourers to complete a vast necropolis covering about 56 square kilometres. Inside, there was said to be a magnificent palace. Its ceiling, decorated with pearls, represented a starry sky, while the floor was a map of the empire with mountains and rivers. The mighty rivers, the Yangtze and the Yellow River, were recreated using flowing liquid mercury, designed to move forever. For centuries, many dismissed these tales as exaggeration. But everything changed one afternoon in May 1974, when farmers in Shanxi were digging a well. Their spades struck a piece of clay by accident. Little did they know they had just awakened a sleeping army and uncovered one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of all time. From that accidental discovery, an entire world emerged. Archaeologists unearthed 3 major pits, revealing nearly 8,000 statues of infantrymen, archers, cavalry and generals arranged in perfect battle formation. Alongside them were more than 130 chariots and 600 war horses. The most astonishing detail, no two faces are the same. Each warrior is a unique masterpiece, complete with rank, uniform, hairstyle and even facial expression, some thoughtful, some proud. This led to wild speculation that the statues were created by moulding clay directly around real human beings and then firing them in kilns. This theory came from the ancient practice of burying the living with the dead, which existed before the Qin dynasty. But science disproved that. When some statues broke open, they were found to be hollow inside. In reality, the warriors were built in an incredible assembly process. Body parts were cast separately in moulds, then reassembled and hand-detailed, giving each figure its individuality and adding to the mystery. When the warriors were first uncovered, they weren't the dull grey we see today. They were painted in vivid, striking colours. Brown armour, red trims, greenish-pink robes, and most notably a unique purple pigment now known as Qin purple. This was a synthetic dye, an incredible chemical achievement that proves the advanced skills of the craftsmen at the time. But then tragedy struck. Once exposed to the air, the delicate paint began to flake and peel within minutes. The bright colours that had survived for over 2 millennia vanished almost instantly, leaving behind only the bare clay. Most of that original colour was lost forever. That was the first and most painful warning. The most painful part of excavation risks is this: no matter how many warriors we uncover, the truth remains they were only guards. The emperor's main chamber is still sealed shut, and the number one reason? A poisonous curse. In his writings, the historian Xi'an described how Qin Shi Huang used mercury to create hundreds of rivers, the Yangtze, the Yellow River, and even a great ocean, powered by hidden mechanisms that kept them flowing for over 2,000 years. For centuries, many thought this was just legend. How could the ancients have produced such vast amounts of mercury? The answer came in the 1980s when scientists tested the soil around Qin Shi Huang's tomb. They found mercury levels in the central area that were abnormally high, sometimes hundreds of times above normal. Even more shocking, the distribution of the mercury in the soil seemed to form a map that matched the shape of China's great rivers. Sima Qian's myth was real. Based on these studies, experts estimate that there could be hundreds of tons of liquid mercury sealed inside the tomb. And mercury, as we know, is highly toxic. Inhaled vapors can cause nerve damage, kidney failure, and death. So why was it used? Two possible reasons: either to recreate the empire so Qin Shi Huang could rule it forever in the afterlife, or as the perfect chemical trap. Imagine if tomb robbers or even a modern excavation team broke into the chamber, a massive amount of mercury vapor could be released instantly, killing everyone inside. Beyond that, the danger of leaks contaminating the environment is enormous. It could poison soil and groundwater for centuries. It's a chemical defense system that, even after 2,200 years, still works. But the chemical traps were only one layer of protection. Sima Qian also wrote that Qin Shi Huang ordered crossbowmen to guard the tomb, their weapons set to fire at anyone who dared dig inside. It's believed the empire's finest craftsmen designed a network of mechanical traps hidden in the tomb's corridors. Picture a group of tomb raiders breaking through layers of earth, finally reaching a passageway. They step on a stone slab, and suddenly a mechanism triggers. Poison-tipped bronze arrows shoot out from the walls in the pitch-black darkness. Other stories mention cleverly disguised pits or giant stone doors designed to collapse and seal intruders inside forever. Could these mechanisms still work after 2 millennia? That's the big question. The sealed and stable environment inside the tomb may have preserved them. We already know that many bronze swords unearthed with the Terracotta Army are still sharp. At first, scientists thought they had been coated with chromium to prevent rust, a technique centuries ahead of its time. But more recent research suggests the preservation came from natural chemicals in the soil and protective coatings applied by craftsmen. Either way, the level of preservation is astonishing, and it raises chilling questions about the state of those ancient traps. No archaeologist is willing to risk their team's lives just to find out. Qin Shi Huang's defences, whether myth or fact, have created both a psychological and a physical barrier. And perhaps that's the most convincing reason the scientific community won't touch the tomb. The fear isn't just about danger, it's the fear that opening it could destroy the site forever. We've already seen what happened to the terracotta warriors. Their brilliant painted colours crumbled into dust within minutes of being exposed to air. Inside the emperor's tomb, over 2,200 years of being sealed has created a unique, stable environment. Humidity, temperature, and balance that every artifact inside has adapted to. If we open it, outside air, oxygen, and bacteria will rush in. Silk could turn to dust, scrolls could crumble, priceless colours and fabrics could vanish forever. We might get a first look at the treasures inside, but it could also be the last. Even with modern technology, there's still no safe way to excavate such a fragile environment. Ideas like building a giant climate-controlled dome or sending in robots remain risky and, honestly, still pretty experimental. That's why the Chinese government has made the responsible choice to leave the tomb sealed, preserving the mystery for future generations with more advanced technology. You know, there are also deep cultural reasons. In Chinese tradition, disturbing an ancestor's grave is considered one of the gravest insults. Qin Shi Huang's tomb is believed to be tied to the fate of the nation itself, built according to strict feng shui principles. So, what do we have here? An underground fortress with many layers. The outer ring of 8,000 terracotta warriors, the deadly river of mercury, the hidden traps, and the final and strongest defense, our fear of destroying history itself. But this raises an even bigger question. Could there be something else? Something even darker, hidden beyond what records ever mentioned? Remote sensing has detected a massive underground palace beneath the burial mound. What's inside, you might wonder? Could Qin Shi Huang's body still be intact? Are there legendary treasures, lost texts, or even the mythical elixir of life he spent his life searching for? And perhaps the most chilling question of all, the 700,000 workers who built the tomb, were they all silenced forever, buried alive with their secrets, as some records suggest? Could the tomb be a place not only of grandeur, but of eternal suffering, filled with the spirits of the condemned? Qin Shi Huang's final secret is not just what he took with him, but the terrifying measures he created to protect it. His tomb isn't just a treasure, it's a time capsule and a curse. Even now, the first emperor rests quietly beneath the mound in Xi'an, a colossal mystery guarded by ancient technology and modern caution, a legacy we can look at but not touch, a story of which we've only read the cover page. Perhaps leaving the tomb sealed is the most respectful choice, for the dead, for history, and for the future. It forces us to stay humble before the past, to recognize the limits of the present, and to leave the wonders of the unknown for generations to come. But the question remains, with all the risks and the promise of discovery, should we dare to open the final gate to Qin Shi Huang's tomb, or should the first emperor be left in peace, sealed forever with his secrets? Finally, at the end of our journey, let me add a closing message. Thank you so much for listening. We encourage you to follow the channel and watch our future videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and